Mr. Ambassador, welcome to Mogadishu Times.
Thank you very much.
What is the purpose of you visiting to Minnesota?
Our purpose is really multifaceted. First is to convey messages about what we're doing in Somalia and in the region. Second is to obtain information from the community about what more we need to do. And three is to discuss and dialogue about the future of the region.
The United Nations says 3.7 Somalis are in danger of starvation. How is the United States responding to this emergency?
We have the early warning system in place, and so we've always been doing feeding programs throughout the Horn of Africa. And so when we got the first indications of a spike in the flow of refugees, we immediately initiated our programs. And so we're trying to address the immediate needs of 11.5 million people in East Africa who are at risk of food insecurity. Then the second issue is, once this is addressed, do the long-term issue about how to address food insecurity in general. And that's where President Obama's Feed the Future program comes into play, because it's an excellent program to address food security for the long term. And then the third issue is to advance development in these regions and to resolve conflict.
Are you getting any information about how many people that are dying in Somali famine already?
Yes, the numbers are very high. On an average day in East Africa, you'll have about 1 out of every 10 child under the age of 5 who will die. And that's a terrible thing. But that cannot be the normal status quo. And so right now today is you have a higher rate of children dying, and the numbers are staggering. There are reports of 30,000 dying in the last 3 months. That's unacceptable. So what we need to do is eliminate the death and address the insecurity, and also enhance development. And so give the people, not only Somalia, but the region, a better opportunity for a better life.
When you see the pictures that are coming from Somalia, essentially that one that was on the cover of New York Times, what do you think?
That means we need to do a lot more. We all do. Simple things like break down interstate trade barriers so we can get food and products into countries. Only 10% of all products are traded. This should be 95% like the United States, Canada, and Mexico. That will raise development. The other issue too is there is a lot of food in Somalia, but it's too expensive for people to procure. So how do you address those issues of getting food at a more easier or a level of payment by normal people? And then the other issue too is addressing development and economic issues on agricultural development. We have plans, we have things in place, but we need to expand it into Somalia, into the regions. And I think those are the things that we're going to be focusing on in the next few years.
In order to assist the aid organization delivering for safety, the TFG, the Amazon, and the United Nations are asking for more troops. Would the United States support more troops to Somalia?
See, it's not the United States. The issue is the African Union and the United Nations, and then the community of nations. And right now is that they have allotted or approved about 12,000 troops. Right now there's only about 8,000 to 9,000 troops, and so there's more troops that can be accommodated. But this is an issue for the African Union in concert with the United Nations. And so whatever those decisions are, the United States will always be very supportive and also consultative in the process.
Why do you think Al-Shabaab withdraw from Mogadishu?
That's a good question. That's a very difficult question to answer. Why did they do that? Were they taking in more tactical positions? Right now what we're seeing Shabaab doing is they're attacking the internally displaced people south of Mogadishu, and so there's heavy fighting between Amazon troops and the Shabaabs in order for the Amazon to get food into the IDP camps. So right now it's still a very tense and conflict, and it's not going to be over soon.
And right now what's happening in Somalia, if you have read about New York Times, food are being stolen from the poor people that are dying. How are we protecting the food that's going there?
You know, there's food that will always be pilfered or stolen, but we need to continue to keep getting food into Mogadishu, into the poor, and to those who are in need. We're going to do that. And yes, food are going to be stolen, but we need to do it.
The donors are very skeptical about donating food to Somalia because of security reasons. How are we preventing that?
No, I mean, we are. Okay, we had $2 billion in requests for emergency food assistance. So far, $1 billion has been promised. The United States is giving 60%. We are going to continue to bring in food through Mogadishu, Ethiopia, Kenya, and other areas. We need to do it. If it's going to be risky, but we need to do it.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador.